Good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose coming to you again from our digital desk. We want to talk about gas prices. No doubt around Northeast Ohio, you've seen quite a jump in the last week or so. There's a couple of reasons for that. We'll get into that. But first, let's welcome in Matt McLean. He is from Gas Buddy. He is a petroleum analyst, sort of a price expert. Matt, thanks for joining us. How are you today?
No problem at all. Doing great.
Let's talk about this. Let's get into, I've been watching the analysts from Gas Buddies talk about how for most of the country, we're about 14 cents under where we were a year ago as a national average. But here in Ohio, we're actually 14 cents higher. Walk us through what's going on. People are getting ready for this holiday weekend, going to be doing a lot of driving, and kind of a bad time to have this huge bump at the pump.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it has to do with a BP refinery flooding in Whiting, Indiana. That took place last week. The plant has been shut down. The refinery has been shut down since then. BP indicating that they are in the process of restarting that refinery. And believe it or not, it's actually caused a bump up in price, and not just Ohio, but Michigan, Illinois, Indiana, Wisconsin, and several territories, provinces, if you will, in Canada as well. And yes, you are seeing that bump up in price. Hopefully, fingers crossed, BP doesn't find any damage in their inspections as they are restarting everything. And maybe by this Labor Day weekend, as long as the refinery is back up and operational, things may start to slowly fall a couple of cents a gallon by Labor Day, that is, on Monday. I got my two flip-flop there for a moment. But by that, and then after into the following several days of next week, we should start seeing prices come back down to where they were prior to the BP refinery having to shut down due to the flooding there in Indiana. And from there, hopefully prices will even fall just a scotch more as we make our way in toward the middle of September. But again, we always have to keep a watchful eye out on several things, some geopolitical wild cards, as well as hurricane season. All of that can throw longer term projections out the window, and sometimes even tariffs can this year as well. So we're watching all of that, trying to make sure that we keep a very, very close finger to the pulse, so to speak. But yeah, prices across northeastern Ohio and really the whole state, as well as neighboring states, are on the increase. We do think, though, that we have finally reached a plateau in those areas, and it should not increase a whole lot more between now and the end of this week.
Matt, explain price cycling for us. So Ohio's one of the states that can be impacted by this. A lot of people think that when you're buying gas at the pump, that gas station is making a ton of money off of me and making a ton of profit. It's not always the case, and then that's where price cycling comes in. Walk us through that.
Yeah, so price cycling, yes, it's exactly what it sounds. And for consumers, believe it or not, if you're able to buy on the lower end of that price cycling, that will actually save you some money. What ends up happening is it's literally capitalism at its finest. They're competing with one another, trying to get you, the motorist, to pull in and buy the cheapest gas possible. And so you see this price cycle going back and forth. And finally, it gets down to a price point where stations could even lose money per gallon for every gallon that you're pumping into your car. Well, they obviously can't sustain that for forever. And so then you see the price cycles spike back up, sometimes overnight, most of the time in any states that do the price cycling. But if you're able to purchase gas on that downward trend in the price cycling, that's when you can save a lot of money. And yeah, just exactly as you said, those stations do have to make up that loss. And so there's where you see the spikes and the dips throughout that price cycling things. It's becoming more and more common across the country. It didn't at first several years ago, but it is actually becoming more and more common across metro areas and states throughout the United States.
Let's talk about, you mentioned ways you can save money, and this is where we get to give Gas Buddy a great plug here. You guys have been so helpful for us over the years and helping us understand what's going on with our gas prices. Using Gas Buddy, especially on a holiday weekend, you talked about traveling to Michigan or Illinois or Kentucky or Indiana. Boy, you really need to be doing your homework maybe before you set out.
It's exactly right. In fact, we always recommend, especially if you're going to be traveling across state lines, make sure you pull out the Gas Buddy app and see where that cheapest price point may be. Sometimes before you cross over a state line, it's cheapest in the state that you're in. Sometimes it's the exact opposite. I'm going to use Illinois as a great example of this. Their gas taxes are quite high, one of the highest in the Midwest. And so anybody that is moving toward Illinois in their driving patterns probably needs to fill up in a neighboring state that borders Illinois versus filling up in Illinois. For example, I'm sitting in Kentucky right now. Illinois is about 10 minutes from where I'm sitting. And if I cross over the state line, I'm going to be paying up to 50 and 60 cents more per gallon than if I stay on this side in Kentucky and fill up here. The same applies for a lot of different states because the state gas tax in each state varies little by little, and in some cases pretty extreme.
Yeah, we know that's the case with Pennsylvania. You always want to fill up before you get out of the state of Ohio, before you hit Pennsylvania. They also have high taxes.
Yes.
Matt McLean with Gas Buddy, we certainly appreciate the advice. We hope we're on the high end of things. Again, it appears to be a refinery issue in Indiana. We've got the price cycling, but according to the folks at Gas Buddy, we should be seeing some relief hopefully soon. Matt, we certainly appreciate you joining us today. Thanks for the education.
No problem at all. Anytime.
All right, take care. We just wanted to get you some answers. Everybody always likes to complain when they see high gas prices, but we want you to complain and have the education, the knowledge as to why prices are so high. Remember, starting at 3 o'clock, we have 3.5 hours of news and first alert weather on Channel 19. Until then, if we have any other breaking news, it'll be right here on our digital properties. I'm Dan DeRosa with 19 News. Have a great afternoon.